All right, guys, great night. Before I forget this, I just want to say, was reminded of how precious life is watching a great clip of our guy, Pat Behan from the D.C. area. Just I want him to know our thoughts are with him, and he had a great accomplishment with his team here. So, Pat, we're pulling for you. Behan strong. Keep fighting the fight, man. Congratulations on everything. This was a great win here for our seniors. I thought they had a look in their eye that was tremendous, and they played with great competitiveness the whole game. I thought Isaac set the tone with his defense. Justice was, I thought, phenomenal all game, and Sean was terrific early in his shot making. So it's a really good Maryland team, and I thought we were able to just kind of keep them at distance, but it's a really good team. A lot of respect for them, a lot of respect for Kevin. They've had a great year. So a good win here, and we'll move on to Michigan State.
Chris, senior night, the motions can sometimes go a little sideways, but the way that your seniors kind of set the tone on that in that opening stretch, forced them to take a timeout, and then you had the lead from that point. What can you expand a little more on what you saw from them and why you felt that they were able to collectively be as impactful as they were right off the bat?
Yeah, man, you probably asked them that, Adam. That'd be a good question, how they would answer that. I just thought they had a really good approach. Obviously for the last maybe, whatever week and a half, 2 weeks, I do feel like we've played better. So maybe across the board, our confidence is higher as a group. But I just thought they had a look in their eye tonight, and I didn't, felt like obviously, we've lost on senior day before. We lost last year on senior day. The emotions can get the best of you, but senior day is so unique right now, especially with the COVID year. It's like, okay, who's a senior, who's not a senior, what's it look like, how do you do senior day given all of that? But we have a guy like Justice who's been here for several years, and we wanted him to really go out on a great note, as well as those other guys. But obviously a guy who's been here this long, you wanted to go out on a win, and he did a great job.
Maybe specifically about Justice, but for him to play the way that he did and for him to have the impact, like you said, after 4 years, specifically, what did this night maybe mean for him, and did you get a lay like the other guys did?
Did I get a what?
Oh, did you get a lay that the players were wearing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should know what that is. Yeah, we were just in Maui.
Yeah.
I apologize. No, I didn't, but I'll look for one after this. I love that. I thought that was phenomenal with this family, and I just really happy for him. He's had his struggles. We've all had our struggles, and he's for the last good bit here. I didn't think he played great in the Purdue game, but after that, I think he's played pretty well, and he just has a good way about him right now.
You've talked a lot about leadership this year, and I know this is one game, but to have it be a game where your seniors, like you said, set the tone early, it's the end of the year, but how much does that help, as you go into this last game and potentially postseason play?
Well, I think they're in a really good mindset right now, and in some ways, you're thinking as a coach, how could I have gotten them in that better mindset earlier? But I think they're in a really good mindset right now, Patrick, and understanding the role. We're playing quality basketball, better possessions than really we have. I think offensively, these have been as good of games for a guy like Bryce that he's had in maybe all year. He's played really quality possessions, and when teams have crowded him or jumped his dribble or jumped his post-ups, he's made the right play, and he's been really, really efficient, even though maybe his numbers haven't been as exaggerate or as big as what they were. I'm really proud of the growth for him. Now he's got to keep doing it. But I think those guys, those seniors were, again, it's unique when you have guys who've just been here for 9 months and you wonder, okay, what's senior night really going to mean for them? That's a real, thought. But for those guys, I do think there was some real pride in wanting to play well.
They said they'd never lost on senior night, so that was part of their
Okay.
focus.
Well, good.
to your point about Bryce, it was a balanced scoring night for kind of everybody out there. Guys talked early in the season about, okay, maybe there won't be a go-to scorer, but we have a number of guys that can get to the bucket. I don't know if we saw that as much as maybe they thought, but was tonight, like you said, one of the better offensive performances in terms of the way everybody got involved?
I think so. And it just makes it, we've had games where we've gotten good shots and we haven't made them. And then we've had games where we just haven't gotten high-quality shots. But we have had games where we got good shots and we just haven't made them. So as simple as it is, it does make a difference when you're able to make some clean, open looks. But again, I thought we've passed it and made the right play. I thought Roddy made a terrific play. Roddy obviously would have played more. I just think I wanted to give Sean on senior night in front of his family a chance to really get a good long run.
Chris, Ice had 4 assists. I feel like he probably could have had 7 or 8 of them. What did you make of his playmaking, especially the way you guys were posting him up and he was finding guys out of that?
Great. What he's been able to do when he's played well is get easy buckets in transition because his speed and his pace and playing downhill at his size is really good. And his post-ups are good. He can see things. He's almost too willing of a passer. He's got to probably look to score a little bit more. But, I think he's been really good. And then I thought his point of attack defensively was so good because we had a really hard time guarding their point guard last game. He had 5 offensive rebounds. He got in the lane whenever he wanted to at their place. And I thought he was able to set a tone physically against him.
You guys seemed to handle their press pretty well for the majority of the night. The one time it almost got away from you, Bruce wrestled the ball away, threw it to Bryce, and Bryce threw a lob to Felix. What did you think of that whole sequence there to see 3 freshmen kind of do that in that moment?
Peak Bruce. That was peak Bruce Thornton. We've seen it so many times in practice where he's gonna get the loose ball most times. Maybe not every time, but it was peak Bruce. He's going to get the loose ball. He's going to come up with it. He's going to somehow make the right play. And then obviously it was a great pass by Bryce on the run there to Felix. And, we haven't talked yet about Felix, but that was a phenomenal performance by him.
Ask about Felix. 12 points, 12 rebounds, blocking shots, dunking the ball. Was that a flash of the future of his potential of what he can do?
I think so. Changing a lot of shots too, and I think if you've watched, obviously you guys know this. We've been seeing some of those now for a month, 2 months now. Maybe not as much early in the season, which is understandable, but. I don't know how you guys have felt, but we've been saying, okay, we're starting to see this with Felix, what he can be. It's pretty impressive. And tonight was just, validation of that. He almost threw in a 3, too. So.
Similar question about Felix, but last time you guys played Maryland, you told us kind of their switchability and their versatility of guys that are 6'7", 6'8" really made it hard for him last time you played Maryland. So how has he changed as a player over the last 2 months that made him do what he did tonight, or what did he do tonight that was better than last time?
Well, he got in foul trouble last time, so he couldn't get in a rhythm. He had 3 in the first half. He had 2 early. So that limited him a little bit and just able to get in a rhythm. But he's just a better player than what he was at their place. He's just a better player. I think all of our freshmen are better than what they were at that time. I really do. And I think we've seen it. And he understands, staying away from situations in terms of foul trouble a little bit better. He understands more of what we're, trying to do. I just think he's a better player, and he was able to not be in foul trouble. And they played Reese a lot in this game, so we needed a size against him.
About these 3 seniors, I said this is the second time that his mom came to a game. Justice's family came from Hawaii. Sean's dad had a major health scare. How much do you think about the role that you and your staff play, especially in a challenging season when they don't have that contact with their family of being here in person and they're having to go through these trials?
Well, yeah, I think it's all of them. It's all of them. You're so aware of what each kid's going through, and sometimes you don't know, right? It's why you and your staff have to have really some great relationships and understanding, and maybe players telling you, hey, coach, this guy, our teammates struggling a little bit. But, those guys are all, old enough that, they've experienced kind of being independent a little bit. But I know they wanted to play well in front of their family. And you look at a guy like Sean who, really almost lost his dad this year. And to to have him here on senior night with his whole family and brothers and fiance, I know was great for him, and Justice's family coming all the way here, and Isaac's family being here. I know that was important, and you could tell all of our guys, our whole team, would just, was really happy for those guys.
How does that openness develop as the season goes on, maybe for the younger guys too, of trusting you guys more as the season goes on and what they're thinking and what they're feeling?
Yeah, just a lot of conversations. I think they got to, they got to know that you care about them as a person. I think if they don't feel like that, they're not going to be willing to have those kind of conversations, and hopefully our guys do.
Chris, earlier you said how how could I, as a coach, thinking like how could I maybe got them in that mindset earlier, given how you're playing. And I know coaches think more about losses than wins, and those things stick with you longer. But is there some part of you, as you've played well now in consecutive games, where that is weighing on you a little bit? Like, where was this a month ago?
Oh, I think all those things do, Adam. I think all those things do. Yeah, I think those will be thoughts I'll have, in the off season. Right now, we're focused on the work and focused on continuing to play well. But yeah, those are always things I'll think about.
And you guys talked about how, obviously, after the Iowa game, you weren't happy with how, as a team, you didn't practice well, and that led into the Illinois game and then kind of the skid from there. But you've talked about it, and they've talked about like putting together better stretches of practice and things like that. How did you see your guys handle the Illinois win the other night, leading into this game?
Yeah, I think we have practiced pretty well, Adam, for the better part of multiple weeks. And it's gotten progressively, I think, even better, even though, and you might think this is crazy, but even when we went through that long losing streak, I remember our staff walking out of consecutive practices and saying, man, we're practicing pretty well. Like, our guys are engaged, they're listening, they're alert, they're working hard, they're listening to coaching. And we just felt like sooner or later that would pay dividends. But I don't know if I said that going into the Iowa game. I might have. But I will tell you that we've had, in the last month, way more good practices than poor practices.
Just to follow that, what does it take to do that? What does it take for a team to have good stretches like that, even if they're not getting the results and the season is kind of sliding away and the losses are piling up?
Well, I think they have to have a belief that eventually they will see some results, even though we were running out of games. And listen, you got two options there. Like, you can say, hey, listen, I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to become independent, or I'm going to lean into being together, being a part of a team, being highly coachable, and like really, really coming together and working. And it really has been about focusing on the work and the work in front of us each and every day. And I think, we have tried to communicate to them that if we do that enough, they have to trust that they will see the results. And we've said that now for 3 weeks, and I'm glad they're seeing some.
Just wanted to ask you, because I don't think we're going to talk to you again before this weekend.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. At Michigan State,
broke my heart.
you were talking about the difficulty of keeping your emotions in check when you're hosting the senior night. Now, when you go up to East Lansing and they're having senior night, a place that you guys haven't historically done really great at in the last 6-7 years, what's the challenge of playing at somebody else's senior night?
Oh, they're phenomenal. They're at their place. They're phenomenal, and they're incredible on senior night. So, it's going to be an incredible environment. It always is there, but it's ratcheted up on senior night on a weekend. So, we'll have that conversation with our guys, because it'll be probably as intense of an environment as we've been in all year. And that's saying something, because we've been in some great ones, whether it was Indiana on a Saturday night or Purdue on a weekend, but it'll be that for sure.